CMC, for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens Movement for Change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up Liberia. CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. CMC, CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity. CMC core values. CMC Global. It is a new day for Liberia. It is a new day for the people. Let's hold together. Let's hold together. It's a unity. Raise up the hands. CMC. The land of liberty, the land of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, yes, for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, yes, 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 the time has come.
CMC. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The time has come. Ansu, Henry, how you doing today? Good evening in Monrovia,
Yeah,
Liberia. The
doing
time is
okay. We got breath
11:33. Go
and we
ahead.
got it live. We are yet again. We are doing fine. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It is nice to be here. My name is Grace Koa. I am a CNCmer. We come here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. United States Eastern Standard Time to 9:30 p.m. United States Eastern Standard Time. In Liberia, we are broadcasting on the radio by 11:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Liberian time. So it's good to be here. We're also streaming on social media, Facebook and YouTube. We are streaming there live right now, and I would like to say welcome to everybody. It is a good day today. Today is June 26th, and this day is very dear to my heart. I will tell you why later on, but it's a nice day here today in the United States. I'm happy to see the Liberian young men in the studio tonight in True FM. We are broadcasting on True FM everywhere True FM is being played, and we are very fortunate and very happy that we can do that. So I would like to welcome everybody. You're watching, you want to share the video, the show for us, make sure other people can see us and hear what we have to say tonight. There's a lot of things going on in Liberia. Dr. Francine will soon be here. She has to do the show with us tonight. She always does, so she's going to be a little late, but she's going to be here soon. And we are happy to be here, Ansu and Henry. How you guys doing? How's Monrovia? How's Liberia?
Why? Back home here, everything is cool, and as I said, it is so long.
Everything is cool.
Yeah. When I say cool and normally things moving on. Normal activities we are going going on with normal activities. That's part the country be politically charged. Yeah. but normal activities are still going on. It's just that the heat is on from the end of Liberia politics. The heat is on, and we know how far you're going to go because, as you said, too much of things happening back home. The chat room is absolutely choked with a lot of information on the. I know you know where to start from and how to even go to the middle of the end.
I
So
know.
many things happening here. As you
Yeah.
said, Madam Grace.
Too many things at one time, but it's nice to be here, and we happy that you guys are well, and you look well in the studio. Everything fine with you all, and that's the main thing. We pray for the rest of the Liberian people, our regular citizens who don't have anything to do with politics, that they are safe and well, that they can find food to eat and they can find things to do with their lives, and also be able to help their own families. And that's the bigger picture here. So it is always good to be here. I am happy. I don't know where to start, but I just wanted to start with the most recent activities. Also, our PL, Honorable Musa Hassan Benete, had a Facebook post today that was very deep. He wrote about what is happening in the HOR, the House of Representatives, and things that he doesn't agree with, especially when it comes to the new law that they have passed concerning the different ports being decentralized. I also read somewhere that law was already into place. I don't know how it was, but somebody said it was passed in 1950. I will also try to find that article and read it. So these are the things that happen in the country. Um, so we come here to talk about them, and we also want to encourage the Liberian people. That's the main reason why we come here. We talk about moral issues and social issues. We talk about politics as well, the issue of politics in the country. And we also come to push CMC agenda with everything that's happening in Liberia as it is. I mean, when you look into your future, do you see anything about UP or CDC government, these two governments being in power for 20 years, and they have brought nothing except for chaos into the country, and the country has been underdeveloped because of they being in power. So when you look into your future, do you see people like those in leadership? If you are seeing that, it means that you don't want Liberia to go anywhere. You want to take another option. And thank God that we know that a lot of people, a lot of different parties are establishing themselves. They will come into the race in 2029. Our option is a citizens movement for change, CNC, which we think is the better way because we already start to do work on the ground for the Liberian people, and we'll be bringing projects, a lot of projects to help the people to live their lives, instead of always depending on this government to do the right thing. Because as far as it goes now, we see that we cannot depend on this particular government to deliver for Liberia. So this is where we are, and that's the reason why we come here. Now, so today we learned that three government officials were arrested. Um, Mistress Sawyer, the late president, interim president Emma Sawyer's wife, she was arrested for allegations of corruption. We also learned that Mary Bro, who was one time the city mayor of Monrovia, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was arrested as well for corruption. And we also learned that D. Maxwell Sakimaya, who was the then foreign minister in the CDC-led government, he was also arrested. These people were put behind bars, and they were later on released because they said that the allegations against them were billable, so they were supposed to go to court. I would like you to talk about this a little bit, but my thing is with Liberia arrest, especially with this GMP government, I do not expect anything more. The reason is I've been almost 2 years going into this government regime. Nobody has been put behind bars, at least in 6 months, when it comes to corruption. So I don't know where it goes. A lot of people being investigated, a lot of people being arrested for corruption. I applaud the president for that. I just want to see more when it comes to that people are actually persecuted for these kind of things. So it sends a message in this government that the president will not tolerate corruption. So I applaud him on one hand, but then I think again on the other hand, how far this is going to go. Let's see what happens. So can you elaborate a little bit more on what's going on with the arrest? If you
And yeah, and I like what you said. Let's see what's happened. Because it just like uh what you do expect to see happening is not what going on. uh you do expect to see whether you go for maybe 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. No, you just see something it won't be arrested. The next maybe 30 or 35 minutes you see them out. So what's the impact? That's the biggest question, the impact of all these arrays. Impact, to or for the Liberian people. What's the impact? What's the impact all the arrays are making? And for me, I think the code is now only the code now making money. I attend to maybe a business center or a business house, because you take someone there, the next thing go to South Beach, and after about 20 to 25 minutes they are out, and again it just that whole story just died down. So it's just about going low, about bill, maybe born, find your born, other stuff. Yes, it just move on. So like you said, Madam Grace, I think they could now had just stayed like a business center, and they are making money for the shortest time. Yeah, they're where now I think you say the justice system now, money is really flowing there, because so big guys, big names are the one to go in there, and the matter of what's the impact, in ordinary like brain people. Like, it's not about it, the race. I told someone said we're discussing this thing today. I said, before you go into arrest someone, I should have a concrete evidence. I should have all evidence, meaning that I'm 40 in control of evidence, or evidence on that person, that when we go to the court, I would definitely, or what I have in my possession, I will trust that process, I will trust it, and that person will end up going beyond by for the next maybe 2 or 3 years. But I don't know whether this arrest is just on the say, or it just on rumors, and people just say in the corner, and at the end of the day say, but they don't invite the people, let's bring them on. That's how the picture of it just looking. And the government have to be very, very responsible. You have to be, you have to show some responsibility. We have to see some seriousness. The people have to see some seriousness, because just few days ago, one of the Fadika brother, where they at the AB Kemahade, this problem, this lawsuit against the Fadika brother, one of them take out the South Beach. Even 30 minutes, you are out. It will last for 30 minutes, you are out to South Beach. Just I think before the case of the former former affair minister, and then Mary Broad, and Madam Sawyer. So just before the arrest, he was taking there. You go 30 minutes. What essence of taking there? And just to go, it's okay. Let me go fire your bone at all. And they could just get what they're supposed to get. And at the end of it, just these Liberian people. And when this thing happening, they can present it too serious. It can look very serious, especially that when they carry on this process, they money, some money before 5:36, just a huge amen, just huge amen, just surround somebody resident, take them from the house early in the morning hour to the court, from the court to South Beach after 30 or 35 minutes, you put it out. That's just how it goes like for now. So for that reason, and look at what happened today. Someone telling me when I went deep down to get to know why they were released, or what basis they were released, just to know that they were released based on someone can stand about and say the case not have sufficient evidence on them, so someone can just sign for them in the go. What is that? Someone can just sign on their behalf, and the poor be released.
Well, also the thing is that the court system works differently. So people, when there's an allegations against someone, especially somebody in government before, once the allegation is there, the police have the right, after looking at the allegation, if the allegation is grave, a very grave, the people have to do an arrest, and then they take the perpetrator or whatsoever, the person who committed the crime. They have to take them, after they arrest them, they have to arrest them and put them behind bars, and they don't only have to go to court, and the judge have to decide whether the case is bailable and make sure that they are not a flight risk, that they cannot leave, they can't leave, they will not run away from the country. So then they can also stand up, they can build themselves out, or somebody can kind of stand up on. So that's the process. So my problem is that after all that is done and the bond is stood, let's see what happens for the court case. So some of the cases when you are arrested, they will not be able to stand your bond because the case maybe is too grave for the people to do that. Means that the case is too bad, so they cannot stand your bond. In that case, it maybe is not bailable. Then you will stay behind bars until the investigation is done. So they did it here with P. Diddy or Puff Daddy, whatsoever, the millionaire in America here, they said they all these crimes. When he got millions of dollars, and the people said they were going to refuse to accept that money because the case was too big of a case, the crime was too criminal, and people's lives were involved, so they were going to keep him. Now, this case in Liberia it has to do with money stealing. The government is saying that these people took a substantial amount of money from the Liberian people, but still the case is bailable. They will go to court, and that's the reason why they had to stand. Somebody had to come and stand their bond. They had to post a bill that they will actually allow them out, and they can go and get their lawyer and start the case. Will start the court proceedings. They will find a date, send it to court and everything. But that bond is there. Sometimes it's human bond that when they leave, then they will catch somebody else if the person stand the bond for them. So that's the process. It doesn't mean the process shouldn't go on. My problem is that the process will go on, but at the end of the day, will anybody be persecuted? That's my question. I don't know, because I've never seen in my years of living on this earth and being a Liberian, except for normal days, what we call before the war or after the war, what we call normal days. Some people went to prison for stealing. President Towa was not joking. He executed some of his own family members. But after that, we have not seen that ever since after the war. People have not stayed in jail for at least 5 years for corruption in Liberia. Until we get to see that all that arrests, what they're doing and sending bond, this and that in our mind, that joke. So I want to play a video here with Kimaya. And I think he was leaving the court at this time, so we can see that. And then we can discuss, because it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Out there, inclusive of our leader, His Excellency Dr. George Manawiya, for the relentless effort in ensuring that we were released on this day, as it is, as a law-abiding citizen, as one of the political leaders in our country. Adherence to the rule of law is key for us, so there is no way that we can be advocating for adhering to the rule of law and then we do away or run away from process that has to do, or processes that got to do with the rule of law. We don't have a problem for facing justice. We just call for impartiality as it is, and that whatever that happened with respect to the law.
Do you see that as a witch hunt?
As it is.
And also, wait!
Yeah. So now, they were released. So Kimaya made his statement. He praised his boss, President Weah, former President Weah, that he worked with, that he made sure that his release was ensured. And those he said that he kind of saying that he's innocent until he is proven guilty. the court of law say he's innocent until he's proven guilty. So let's see what happened. But I tell you, my brother, it's just a lot. The corruption is so much in the country. You don't know where how to even think about it, because even with this government that are arresting people now for corruption, they are arresting their own people. But a lot of other people are there too that are corrupt and they have not been arrested. So it's just a you don't know what to say about these things. You don't know how to even analyze it anymore. Liberia is in a serious chaos. And if Liberian people can open their eyes, they will see that. And this is the reason why they need to join other parties now, especially CMC, to start to gear towards 2029. Because this UP government, I don't know how far I will go with this. For me, sometimes I feel they set up all this chaos to distract people. There's a law has just been passed in the House of Representatives concerning the decentralization of the port. People are not talking about that law that been passed. The people are not satisfied because the way the law was even passed, it was kind of fraudulent. Most of the people were not in the House of Representatives were not aware that law was going to be passed. So to me, for them to distract those things, then they come up with all these arrests and everything, so we can be distracted. So I don't trust the process. I'm sorry. I'm happy because at least people are being, exposed for corruption. We know now who are being stealing money. But at the same time, these people are not being prosecuted. So it's alleged, So we are here to just see what the case may be. And we move on from there. But so far, this is what we are seeing. In the other news around the country, people are killing themselves, some people hanging themselves, they see dead body everywhere. So it's just that bro is just in a turmoil. It's in a turmoil. So this is what we see, and this is what Liberian voted for. When the election in 2023, I'm not trying to go back to blame people, but you have to be able to hold people to account for. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, but these are some of the things that goes on in the country that it's just a lot. One of my friends, her sister just passed away, died in JFK because nobody could help her there. The nurses refused to help her. She was having the oxygen tube in her nose because she was sick. Went to Ghana, they diagnosed her. She came back to Liberia. They were supposed to do another diagnosis on her. Her family paid for it, but they did not do it. They started finding the diagnosis from Ghana, and they were trying to treat her, and she was suffering to breathe, and they had an oxygen thing in her nose. Now her roommate in the hospital, the patient in her chair in the room, said that the oxygen tube slipped away from her nose a little bit, and so she was gasping for air because with all that oxygen tube she couldn't breathe. While gasping for air, the other lady in the room, who was a patient as well, yelling and calling the nurses and JFK, the woman gasping for air, y'all come up. Nobody shook. That woman gasped for air. She was fighting to breathe until she died. And no nurse or doctor ever stepped in that room to help her, just to push that tube in her nose. So it cost her life. These are the things that we want to be fixed. Yes. Because all they running around with arresting the people, yes, they need to be arrested, but fix the other issues for the common people to live. So they can just have a life, a chance of life. That woman could have lived. If only the nurse, they were on the rotation doing what they were supposed to do. And that's all we were asking. So I don't know, Ansu or Henry, you can come in, but what happening with all the chaos, with these people running around with arrest and everything? We want to see the outcome of these things. I mean, we want to see the outcome.
And I think you listened to me when we started this conversation. I said, what's the impact on the common people? What's the people getting from this thing here? Because the way you said, Madam Grace, all these things are just cases alleged. So you don't even know whether when the people go to court at the end of it, they come for that and say, oh yeah, because well people slap in the face of the government, because later there is some people in this government who also part of the whole rest issue today we are talking about. Do you understand? So For me, I always talk and think on the ordinary people. What's the impact? What is going to do in terms? Is it going to give the people the better life? Is it going to see when it comes to maybe the man in the health sector, the man in the education sector, the man in the security? Is it going to improve their salary? You
But
understand?
also,
Yeah.
29,412 bags of rice donated by the Saudi Arabia government has been missing in the country when people were in charge of the rice. Yes, definitely. And we applaud the president that the president is not saying that the people did not use the rice for the right purposes. So maybe they sold the rice and took the money. So it's right for them to be arrested and the case be investigated. So that's the impact on the country. It will help the people because at least that money can be retrieved if they can retrieve the money. That's why I say what the end result is. For me, I don't have to, I want to arrest when the people do the wrong thing. But what is the end result? Are you people going to make sure you get restitution? Are we going to get that money back from those people? If not, they're going to go back to, even if we get it back, if it was stolen, they need to be persecuted for that. Are they going to go to jail and serve time for stealing these things? Is corruption going to be cursed on by this government? Where that when I mean curse on, where that they will prosecute people for it. So that's what we want. But I mean, the arrest is good when you do the crime. You got to pay. You got to serve the time. We just want to away. The last time we checked, Gloria Mususka was escorted out of prison by the same government without any proper investigation on Charlotte Musu death. Until today, nobody know who really killed Charlotte Musu. They killed some kind of way and this and that. Yes, okay, they say Mrs. Scott, Gloria Mususka was not responsible for that, but then who? Where is the investigation? Somebody killed her, so investigate the matter. That's why I see these kids live in limbo. We are not getting results from them. So I agree with you. Then why arrest these people? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So Madam Grace, that just it. You are just hit the nail on what I was just driving at. Why are you arresting the people? They just give the example of the former chief justice, right? Just give an example on, it is clear. Do not take the Liberian people for fun. Don't make fun of us. In a sense that you know very well, as I said, there are some big names into the government part of that arrest situation. Now you blow it out in the public. Woo! At the end of it, you come to understand that you have people that are working with you into the arrest situation, and you just look at that case now, it just go in limbo, as you said. And at the end, there'll be no final result that Liberian people get for it. So do not play fun on the people. This is complete fun because at the end of it, you have some of your people working with you for this particular arrest situation here. And the names will come out. Why begin it to the public? Because you know very well that it will not go nowhere. The case will not go nowhere. You know, because as I said in Madam Grace, how the poll release? You release the poll based on he said, someone should someone when they say that no sufficient evidence. So you understand? So meaning that the way how the case will end, either to just see the people go to the court for the court to South Beach and just have that record said, oh yeah, we sent in South Beach. The matter of fact, we arrested them. We sent in South Beach. So whether they become free, whether at the end of it, the people become innocent, the matter of fact, we send in South Beach. To just have that record. Stop making fun of the people. You know very well that there are people close in your government in the particular arrest situation, and you know this particular story, it will not even cross water. Stop blowing it out to the public. Do not have to say this is what the people want. This is why I say what's the impact. There are so many things our people are doing. They are forgetting about the bread. They are bread and butter issue to handle the things there for them to handle. There are different things. If they say they want to set things straight before they turn to the Liberian people, we'll be into the 4 or 5 years already. Because so code business. If they say they want to make things straight before they turn to the Liberian people, we'll be in the 5 or 6 years. Then they will start talking and say, oh, you give us another 6 years, my people. How the thing will end? The particular government end, though, you give us another 6 years so we can finish what we started. What you started. we're heading to the tier year. We're closing up to the second year already, entering to the tier years. And they give say why we started gave us another. That's the particular government. We'll come out on the platform here. Grace 2027, 28. Yeah, people talking say the book. Yeah, we'll pay the book for the last 6 years, so we can complete. When you took almost 2-3 years or just up and down for quote unquote, things that were supposed to meet away for the Liberian people will fail. Look at the roads are cutting. You cannot get from river access to cross over to another country. You can't get to from this other country. The roads are cutting. You cannot. What are we doing? You understand what I'm saying? What it takes indeed when it comes to you saw the University of Liberia. You saw how when it rained, what's happening there? What are they doing in terms of getting a place a very good first life? We don't know what's happening. What's happening there? People just die. And when we start to poke some of the bollocks or whatever money, one time I got confused, Madam Grace. I got on the social media, and the first thing I came across, I bought it somewhere around around GSA Road. Before I could flip that again, another one in Grand G there. Before I said by the day, I will just stretch my internet off. What is going on? And you cannot get any reason, you cannot get any concrete information what it costs. We have bunch of cases there at that court on the people decks, and you just holding the other with a bunch of cases. We have a lot of cases there to be handled. Innocent people die up to the south. We haven't getting a redress to know exactly what the cause of the people death. It's still at the court. Their family, their parents are still grieving. They will run it behind people then who know that at the end of the day, we just spend 20 minutes to solve bill, put it up. What will it be for? At the end of it, we just go, they'll spend 30 minutes to solve it. Why are we doing this? We are fooling the people. We're fooling the people, know exactly. We talk, hold our resources, empty casket. We put it on car. We said the late President Do in that casket. And we came in from Monrovia all the way to Zwedru. That whole group will be arrested.
The casket was empty?
Yeah, that whole group to be arrested. That is making fun of mockery of Liberian people. That whole group, you took empty casket. There's a video in the chat room. The people to eat grand complain that they want to do a traditional on the body. Nobody, you get found body. So the security people get in the toilet to get to the casket or to the casket. People say they must do the traditional on the body.
You joking me? So that casket was carrying our empty casket, but what is bury them in and they need to go take a body to for them to go bury?
You got just to the person, oh, did they do a memorial series for this man? You know, everybody will understand, oh yeah, you know, just a memorial series. But you pour empty, you know what I can say? That money put me like casket, oh, we checked right now to where have the World Economic Crime could establish almost 7 to 8 million people get paid. You should use that money to send it there, the get a pay. You take empty cast, they put that car from Monrovia all the way to Zwedru. That whole group too need to be arrested because you're fooling the people.
I mean, and that's the fraudulent thing that they do. That corruption right there. How you pour empty casket, you say you're going to bury the remains of the former president who were murdered right in the public. Nobody know where Prince Johnson buried that man.
We don't say he buried the man.
Then some people say he buried the man. Then they say now they buried the man. They take an empty casket to bury. But also before we close this matter, let me just read from Front Page Africa what they said. They said that I'm reading from Front Page Africa, so I get in the credit. It says that Monrovia Front Page Africa has learned that former Minister of Foreign Affairs D. Maxwell Sakimaya, former Deputy Foreign Minister Telmon Duncan Sawyer, who is the former General Services Agency GSA Director General, Mary T. Braw, along with several former officials of the National Disaster Management Agency, NDMA, are expected to be released. They have already been released from detention on their own recognizance with human surety. This means the accused will be released based on the court's trust that they will comply with the terms of the release without the need to post a cash bond. So the people never even post a bond. However, a human surety, an individual acting as a guarantor, will vouch for their appearance in court and adherence to any imposed condition. The officials were detained following the arrest on Thursday in connection with the alleged makes appropriation of 29,412 bags of rice, value of $425,918. The rice was donated to Liberia in April of 2023 by the King Salmon Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center for distribution of disaster affected communities. Yeah, what people don't get nothing. Investigators allege that the consignment was diverted for personal and political benefits. Although such a release is rare in high-profile cases, it is permitted when the court deems the accused not to be a flight risk or a threat to public safety. A human surety is someone who personally guarantees the accused court appearance. Should the accused fail to comply, the surety may face penalties, including fines and imprisonment, depending on the court's ruling. It is not yet clear how many of the detained officials will be granted release, but all of them were granted release. But it is confirmed the decision is expected to bring relief to their families and supporters. So these people, there was no bill filed for them. Nobody, the only thing we had human surety that stood upon. So the human surety, they stood for themselves. They never gave money. They just say, you know what, you release the people. If they run away, then you blame me. Then you can come and find me money, or you can get me to jail. But I put in myself all here, say if you're not putting, you're taking from prison, I will be held responsible if he run away from the country. So there was no bonfire. Somebody just came and stood. The people say, "Oh, I will get myself off of them. They free them, so the people go home, and that's it. That is Liberia for you." And that's the reason why I know that we don't get results for these cases. So for me, it's a distraction of all the arrests. The arrests are too many around the country until we can see 1 or 2 times that people can go to jail for at least 5 years for corruption in our country. All the things here we are going on, the people not ready yet. That bring message that fly. They're not ready yet. They are not. Yes, and that's the reason why Liberians now should be looking at the third lane. Because these two political parties, see how they playing each other. Baga government kind to play. We have people there, all of them going to prison. And some of Baga people too, they catching someone there, just to balance the equation. Then we have when he came, he too was taking you people. So these two parties, they are not benefiting the country at all. You don't look at these two parties in 2029. You try to get rid of these people. They don't know what they are doing. All they do is just the money are missing. So we believe that they are stealing the money. And when people are stealing the money, what we call them, they are rogues. There is no other word for it. We cannot sugarcoat this thing anymore. These two parties need to go away so that people can be in peace and live their life, for another group of people to come who I think will have the heart to help the country. And that group of people is the citizen movement for change. That's what I believe. Henry, you have anything to say about that before we leave for this other drama? Because I really
Thank you so much, man, Grace. You just said it, that's obstruction for the country. There should be some better things our officials are to be looking at. The South as it has become a place wherein people just go for a day of 1, 2, afterward it will come out without any concrete reason, and at the end they just pull the Liberian citizen, in waiting, and at the end when I see the exact result, we are actually expecting, and that which of course, I don't think in my mind a country should be wrong with that. Actually, no. And when you observe what happened at the arrest was done early this morning at 6 o'clock, can you just imagine? So you carry the people there, you couldn't just tell anything. You can't tell and say, human surety or whatever way, that's obstruction for the country. There should be other things, to look at, So let's see what comes out of it. We don't want to be the final judge of the case. Let's see what comes of it. It is better know to them for what reason, for what exactly they will have to run it that way. So let us be the final judge of the case. So let's see what comes out of it over the coming days. But like I tell you, the coming days again, do not be surprised. Like I'm always saying, every day that breaks, there is a different news. and there will be another news that will come and overshadow this, or better still, surface the other news again. At the end, we'll not get the exact thing we were actually waiting for either. So, but let's see what comes out of it, and we hope and pray that those of them that have done wrong in the past, or who's doing wrong, there's a need, like you said. Let them not be taking for 2 days, 3 days. When you are found guilty of certain thing, go and bear the penalty. When you commit the crime, go and serve the crime. Go. Then that shows that actually we are actually moving forward. But now where you come, you take Peter Brown to the carry Peter Brown. You just put the whole country, just made it, just turn the whole country into something else. And at the end, when I understand the exact thing, what exactly you took that person to that place for. So let people bear the crime when you commit a crime, bear the crime. That's it. With that, people like say yes, the government is actually moving just on and on. But when they are just been done our way, I don't think it is appropriate, but let's see what the court gonna make of this. Yes.
So, but in other news, the president just hired.
Yeah, I think I sent that video from Mayor Broad. She was talking about. I don't know if you saw it in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What was she talking about?
Over the time when she was elected to the Library Electricity Corporation (LEC), for those that were doing stealing current, that will not going to buy the current, illegally. She was there blasting at them. So what comes to mind, say those who comes with equity must come with clean hands. Yeah, you been.
Now she's being accused for this whole arrest saga.
Yeah,
yeah. So let's see what happens, because it's alleged we haven't have a prosecution, or we haven't have a court ruling on it yet. So we don't know whether she actually did the crime. So we are just here to say what the government accuse her for, she and the rest of the people. And let's see, as the court proceedings go on, whether they will be found guilty of this. And that's what we keep on saying. We don't know, because there has been no results on any of these arrests. So many people cases are still being investigated. The Swakoko Dennis, the fishery thing, everything being investigated.
We no longer hear any news about about other cases. Like I said, as soon as they breaks another news.
Yeah.
So when these people are found guilty, let them be prosecuted for what they have done over the time. What that it put a country on a stand. When an official is been guilty, you will be like, wow, the people will actually take a drastic decision against me. I'll go and bear the crimes.
Yeah. So we're moving on. The president, yesterday, June 20, on June 23rd, it wasn't yesterday. So June 23rd, the executive mansion of Monrovia, the president Joseph Yuma Boakai has made new appointments in government affecting the judiciary and the National Port Authority (NPA), the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, the PPCC, and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Medical Center (JFK), and the Notary Public of Montserrat County. So the president appointed in the judiciary Mrs. Victoria Waluba Duncan, residence judge at the 13th Judiciary for Magibi County. He appointed her. And then the National Port Authority (NPA) board, he appointed Mr. David Collier, member of the board of directors, and Mrs. Amira B.A. Johnson, member of the board of directors. And this kind of thing just concern me. Remember we came here and we were talking about how the former president or the former president Nelson Doe went to the mansion and asked him to put her in a board position, because she wanted to get more money. Her pension was not enough, which was very fraudulent for her to ask the president to do that. That is totally wrong. For you to be put in a board position, you have to have the know-how to do that job. You have to be vast knowledge about what you are being appointed into. Also, you have to have the education and the experience. And Nelson Doe did not have that. So she was asking the president to put her on the board. And President he said, oh, he was looking to it. He never did that, and which I'm happy that he did not do because it was going to be totally wrong. It's not good for the Liberian people to have people on these different positions that are not able to do the job. That's the reason why the country is lacking in the first place. So now, President Bouaka has appointed Prince Johnson wife, Amira B.A. Johnson. I don't know whether this woman background, her education background, I don't know whether where her work experience is, but he sent her to the National Port Authority, the NPA board, and she's going to be on there making some money. So and this is the problem with the country. How you put people in position, you create these positions. The positions already are taking over the country because the government have too many people hired in the government until they cannot take the capacity of the people that are hired in the government. So majority of the money that is set in the budget for the country goes to paying employees and paying for the benefits. So the regular people that don't work in government don't benefit anything. They don't get anything. There is no help in the country at all for them to do other things to benefit the country. That revamp the JFK, like to make sure that the people got the economy going, because most of the money in the budget go to salary, because these different government that comes, they just create more job opening so they can hire people that they like. They can hire people that they think they owe something to. They can hire people who are their friends. They can hire people who are their family members just for them to be in positions, and they take away from the society of Liberia. So we really need to check the background of Prince Johnson, the widow of Prince Johnson, Mrs. Amira B.A. Johnson, to find out what experience she has to be in this position. But in the meanwhile, you are hiring people, but the people that are doing all this corruption that you are arresting, they need to be fired and go to court. And then you put people in those positions and make the position available. Because if the government accusing them of corruption, I don't think they should even stay on the job. But there is no vacancy in the government. You're still creating more jobs to put people on board, to take away from the Liberian people and take away from the society and the economy. So I'm confused with this government. It's a very confused government. Very confused. When they get gold, they look confused. So I still just don't get it. This man is still hiring people. It's okay to hire people. But if you're creating more jobs in the government to hire people just to put them there because you favor them, or because Prince Johnson helped to put you in power, so you think you owe him that, or the vice president think he owed this woman that because Prince Johnson was his godfather. It's a sad day. It's a sad time in this country. And Liberia need to really look into stuff and start to look at the future, because this government is just not adding up for me. It's just not. So even if they're doing something progressive or positive, you cannot see it. You cannot see it because the way they carry on the rest of the stuff, it's just that mind blowing. You just don't understand. So because I know of Prince Johnson wealth, the time that Prince Johnson stayed 18 years in the Senate, Prince Johnson wealth never worked a day in her life. This woman had no job experience for 18 years. How she's going to operate in this position? How is she going to operate in this position after working in a professional setting for 18 freaking years? When her husband was alive, she was working with her husband, and not in a relevant position in any office. I've never heard about that, except I wrote in somebody got let me know. So how Bouaka found it in his mind to hire this woman in this position? That's the question. You are taking away from our country, Mr. President. This is not 1935. We are in 2025. What you're doing is wrong. So the Liberian people is not right for them. It is not good for the country, period. I'm sure you can say something so
Madam Grace, the other day I was saying, like, how are we thinking of fighting or profiting, or better still, fighting to balance the economy or even the country at large, and when we stay having these kids, in the street, how are we fighting these things? We don't want the country to be in poverty. We don't want the country suffering, and we still get kids in the street, with their parents, begging people here and back, and then government is not looking at direction. So with that, what comes to our mind is that how are we thinking of fighting corruption when we are putting people in the power who don't have a job experience? As you may be aware, we had a by-election recently in Nima County, and this lady in question, she supported Samuel Koga, and then he came to prominence and was victorious in the by-election, where and that election was highly supported by the Unity Party government, the legs of the vice president and other in the Unity Party, where they went to election and successfully they came out. So I think there's a payback. I think in my mind there's a payback. It's not about how many experience you get, because if they were thinking around, no, she was not going to be elected as one of the board's directors and so forth. So I think in my mind it's a payback, because if you understand, they have some differences, just before the death of the senator, but then they have some differences, the folks from the Unity Party and the other senator. It came a time he was asking for a job for one of his daughters, and they were on a rigmarole at one point in time. He couldn't reach out to the president, they managed to take phone for comment and just call the president. It came a time, that report, it will not be doing it again. You got to pass through other people, and which were very, very difficult by then, until they call him or death, took him away. So afterward, it brought some, politics. People start to misinterpret and interpret their own way. The death of this man, it derived from certain people, and afterward, it went through the burial. So I think my mind is a pig, but they're not looking at the experience you get. So now, how are we fighting corruption? We're still putting people in the government, position who does not have the idea. How? How are we going to fight corruption? So the only thing we expect more suspension. Because at the end of the day, when I let it go to the position, start to do the work, and she's not doing it the proper way, what next? They're probably going to use the pen again, the powerful pen.
Yeah, so I mean, this is what the country is. Also, if you don't have anything to say, so we can and welcome the people that's watching us. We want to welcome the people in Liberia that's listening to us and broadcasting on True FM tonight. We want to say welcome and thank you for listening. And it's going into the morning hours of Liberia, the next morning hours of Friday. And it's a beautiful time. You know that God is so good, that when one country is just experiencing the next day, another country is still in the day before, and another country is way in the middle part of the following day. So it's the beauty of the world. The world is rotating, and the beauty of God's creation. But we would like to welcome Jog Bala, watching from New Jersey. We would like to welcome Mohammed Enza Dali. Mohammed is the vice chairperson for the Minnesota chapter for CMC Citizen Women for Change. She said, "I'm watching from Abidjan. It is great seeing you, Madam Chairperson Chris Kowa." Thank you, Mohammed. It's always nice to have you here. So we have Melvin, thank God for life. Wyan, he is watching. He said, "Dr. Francine Richardson, leave politics and focus on your teaching, please, Mama." I don't know whether you should make that decision for her, my brother, because everybody have their life to live. So she choose to do politics, is her own business. We have Augustine MB where he's watching. He said, "Good morning." And we have Hussein Dolly Ability. He said, "Top quality gaming experience." He is watching. Augusta Kower again. Otis T. Wanlia, good evening. I'm watching from Canada. Thank you, Otis, for watching. We have Samuel C. Gote. Government has, Dr. Francine is here. Government has enough evidence. Look, guys, try to find out for yourself. Don't depend on, they say. Well, I don't know whether the government have enough evidence. So we will actually go to see whether they have it when the case is prosecuted. Until the case is prosecuted and somebody goes to jail for corruption, we will be here and everything will be alleged. That's what would be. That's all we can say. So, but Dr. Francine, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. You are very late.
Yes, and I apologize to everyone for being late. There was an interesting segment going on in where I was, so I couldn't really leave, but it was just interesting, so I just kind of made up my mind to leave. But thanks for responding to the person who's making a decision for me, a grown over 50 years old woman. You feel like you have the right to tell me what and how to live my life. Isn't that interesting? What an entitlement.
I know sometimes when you are doing this, people feel entitled to you, feel entitled to your life, but it's not fair to tell anybody what to do with their life, because what is going on in Liberia, if you're Liberian and you watch from wheresoever you are already triggered. Even people who never know how to speak and people who never have talked about politics, some of our friends, our family, when you talk to them, they are very triggered with what is going on in the country. So some of them just will not speak, but we who have the mouth to speak, we're going to speak. And Dr. Francine is one of them. So you can't tell her what to do and what to say. She will continue to be in politics for the rest of her life because she wanted change for Liberia. And she's fighting for it through her speech. That's just it.
And the interesting thing about it, not to even we belabor the point, is that this person has thank God for life in the middle of the name. Big thank God for life. You see the oxymoron, you know. So he says oxymoron, you know, to even think that you'd be talking to me when you have this big thank God for life. You know, thank God for life. I can speak. You know, I can't imagine if I'm not living, I'll be dead. I won't be able to speak. So
yeah,
thank God for life. Yeah.
But we'll always continue to speak for Liberia. So, Doc, you know, with the different arrests that have been going on in the country, we're still looking. We're saying that one of the things that we agree on with Ansu and Henry and myself agree together that the arrest is going on, yes, but we got yet to see somebody being really persecuted for all of this, you know, and there's where we are. We'll wait to see that, but we know we are not excited. We are just not. Because in the history of Liberia, nobody has been persecuted since after the war. Because before the war, President Tubman then did that. President Tubman, I heard that he did that as well. People were sent to prison for corruption. In Tubman government, a lot, even his own family members, some of them were executed. But then when it comes to after the war, where they say President Tubman then did not do none of those things, they were killing them because they said they were corrupt. Then these people came now. The real stealing of millions of dollars going on. Millions and millions of dollars. And nobody ever went to prison yet for corruption and spent at least 5 years. Let me just say 2 years to say, oh, this government official went to jail, he stole, and then he spent 2 years in prison for corruption. Never. They're always investigating to the end, and they will say inconclusive. Yes. They always, even with death, the people will see a lot, the people die, and they would point people, you know, they would say, oh, this and that, the other person was there before you look, everything just go, oh yeah, you know, there was not enough evidence. It was inconclusive. Can you imagine? And these are the things that Brentford playing with. I was just seeing one of my schoolmate, her sister just died in JFK just like that, just because of oxygen air was not going to her nose, and her roommate in the hospital was sharing the same room. They were more yelling, calling, and the thing slipped from the woman nose. You come. The nurses said, "What? We coming. We ain't got time for that." And they were more when the lad there suffocated for air until she died. She just needed somebody to push that into her nose. The other woman laying there, they couldn't get up to help her. They were more screaming, calling, and nobody came to the woman. So these are the kind of things that we want to be fixed in the country. So y'all can do your arrest. We'll be watching to see who will go to prison about this, and we sure nothing will happen. But in the meanwhile, you know, we just got to talk about it because it's going on. But I have no hope in this government. I have no hope whatsoever. You know, there was a law passed that recently for this whole decentralization of the port, and then Honorable Ability, he wrote on his page. Talking about this that was passed, and where he wrote, you know, it's a lot. He wrote about a dangerous precedent. The legislature must not be reduced to an auxiliary of the executive. Unfortunately, the legislature has actually reduced to like an auxiliary of the executive in the government, because why? A regime speaker is in power as the Speaker of the House. The grown men and women of the House of Representatives sat there and allowed a regime speaker to be voted into power after he announced that he was a regime speaker. When he got there fraudulently and they removed him and made sure they did it the right way, they still voted him in. So definitely, this House of Representatives, they are auxiliary of the executive. They're there, you know, you wear the skirt, then you wear the cape over the skirt. Nothing different. Nothing different. But I want to read his letter. I don't know. I want to read it so we can dissect it.
I think I was going to say I think it's important that you read the letter, because I think there are many out there who are misinterpreting the letter or misconstruing what he said. So let's read the letter, because I know there was a critique about why was he including the executive branch in his letter when it was the legislature that did the act of passing the decentralization of the ports. So, and I don't know, in his letter, he explained in that letter, I read it, he explained, that they didn't get enough time to digest, to study, this whole port situation. It was quickly done. And that's why he believes that other hands had um, participated in this action. So yes, let's read that. I was just going to add. I
Yeah,
think.
but before I read, I would say that I don't understand. The people, they are in denial so much until they just don't want to face the truth. They got a group of Liberians just don't want to say the truth. They don't want to face it. They will deny it and they will just move on like that. Well, you thank God for the other countries around us. The people face the truth and they accept the truth, so the country moving on. They have other lapses inside, but the lapse is not developing. Your country is still living in the 30s because your village is actually a village. Unlike Nigeria, when they say village, the people got running water, they got light 24/7, they got paved roads, their marketplaces are well developed. So that because we don't want to accept the truth. So this post that Honorable Ability made, it's just simple to understand. I don't understand why they don't digest it. But let me just read it down. He said, a dangerous precedent. The legislature must not be reduced to an auxiliary of the executive. I am deeply troubled as I read. Go ahead.
I wanted to stop you. So when a speaker, okay, the current speaker who was the purported speaker, when you get up and say, I'm a regime speaker, okay, you tell the public it wasn't something that he spoke secretly. All right. So we have certain optics about how laws are passed. It almost like you support the executive branch, you an auxiliary of the executive branch because you're a regime speaker, as you said earlier, Madam Grace. So this is why we have the optics, we have the perception, and it is true as to what is going on. I think something you said to me today, Grace, if you don't mind me repeating it, is like, let's wait and see whether this law is passed or not. What informed the president to pass this law? Okay, that would be where we want to wait. Did he ask questions or did he just sign a bill making this a law? How was he informed that this is a good law for our country for him to pass it? What was he looking at? Was he just taking whatever the person who supported this bill accordingly was written by Snow and somebody else, but supported by many in the Senate from Basa? Okay, so we know. So
Yeah.
when he tells us, when he explains to us why he passed this bill, then maybe we'll have some understanding. But right now, what informed his decision in passing the bill?
The papa was sitting down. He had drank his Ovaltine in the morning. They brought him bread. Maybe they gave him fried fish. You know how bread and fried fish can be sweet. Fried fish that bread style.
You got it.
When he finished eating, they just put the paper in front of him and say, "Sign, drink deep." Okay, like, yeah, he just signed the paper. Yeah, because what else? They let the House of Representatives people saying that they don't even know what is in this bill. They were passing their year because the regime speaker and a group of people decided to just vote him in. They were all told to just say yeah, and they did that, and they passed the law. But on the probability, when he said, I am deeply troubled by the manner in which the national legislature has handled the recent amendment to the act creating the National Port Authority, and an amendment that authorizes the creation of several autonomous ports across the country. This is the matter of national significance. It affects commerce, sovereignty, fiscal oversight, and the future structure of our economy. And yet it was passed without public hearings, without experts' opinions, and without involvement of key stakeholders.
Yeah, let me hold. Can I hold you there a little bit?
Mhm.
Yes. So in his letter, when he talks about affect commerce, these different SMEs, okay, there are SOE business or SMEs, SOEs, like NPA, they're supposed to contribute to our national coffers. This is what he said. It affects commerce. So when we have all of these different autonomous ports, do we have the mechanism, or have we agreed or discussed what percentage are they going to be presenting to the government? How are they going to be presenting this money to the government? We know that these ports have not worked in a autonomy manner. So how are we going to give them the timeline to make money? Are they going to be making their own money and then making their own donation or collecting their own revenue to the government? So how is this going to work? We don't know.
Yeah. What are the mechanisms in place for these things to operate? Because for you to pass a law like that, you have to make sure you have all the things, the T's are crossed, the R are dots, so these things can go into operation. Or are you passing the law so they can steal more money? Because now we're hearing that the corporate funds that were giving for the ports, they were not, nobody know where the money went.
That's true. Yes. I saw Sarah pictures on Facebook where ArcelorMittal in the past was giving Grand Bassa money to fix the bridges and to do several things. And the picture that I saw, again, I want to emphasize, I saw it on social media, and I heard from people who visited these areas that the bridges did not commensurate with the amount. It was not equal. When you look at the bridge, you say, oh, instead of giving money to fix these bridges, it was not fixed. Nothing was fixed. It was not developed for the money that they said they were getting. So that's a question to ask. And I want to tell you, I was on Spoon platform when this guy, I think his name is De Gaulle, okay, in the previous government, he worked in the previous government. NPA sent him to Bassa to be in charge of the port in Bassa, okay? This man was making decisions and making money where he told us live, the Liberian people, that he pocketed some of the money that he made. What mechanism do we have? Yes, he came. He was telling us the story. He said, there were some old boats in the water, some remnants of ships in the water, and they wanted to remove it. And so they spoke to, I think, some manager or someone in another country. I can't remember the country's name, but this person actually paid them, and he never over 500,000, never reported that money to Monrovia. So what mechanism? You ask a brilliant question. What mechanism do they have to say when monies are collected at these different ports, what percentage are they going to submit to our national coffer, and how are they going to maintain some to sustain the county? Yesterday we had a representative on another platform that I'm on, and this representative said, today we learned that this representative owned boats in Hapa or Sano, I think, so he's making it own. So he supports this port autonomy because he will be able to make more money.
He will benefit, yeah.
Yes, it's beneficial to him. So is that what informed his decision for us to have autonomy ports? I mean, if that's what informed his decision, that's very wrong. Like, it's very to how can I enrich myself? So this is what, when I see in this letter, ability talk about, this is going to affect our commerce. Yes, this is going to affect our sovereignty. So the people get allowed any kind of boat, anybody can come into our country by way of, the Sano port, the Bassa port. Yes, because they have autonomy over their ports. They can say, we have one a boat from the neighboring country to come over. What's the fiscal oversight and the future of our economy? He talked about all of those things. That's what he's stressing here. So I need to see, like you said, what mechanism do they have, and what is informing the decision to make this autonomous port law?
The sovereignty part is very concerning because that could bring war into the country. People could come with some strange boat, and maybe they would be allowed in any of the different countries through the sea port, and anything could happen. You know, even with the Freeport, they're not even able to regulate Freeport the right way. So how they going to be able to stretch their hands like octopus with all these ports around and opening up to the world is scary. So
Yes.
what he said, and I read, he said, even more alarming is the speed and secrecy with which the House of Representatives concur with the Senate versions of the bill. The Senate version of the bill, effectively rubber stamping a law that many of us have no opportunity to even read, let alone debate or refine. This is not how laws should be made in a democracy. This is not why the people sent us to Capitol Hill. So the whole revamping of this law, because the law was there, but then I think they were the whole amendment of this law, it was in secret. And not everybody in the House of Representatives knew about the law going on.
No.
They just have a few people that talk about it on the cover because who that didn't want to benefit from the whole thing, and they just jump out and they passed the bill.
Exactly.
So he said what happened? What happened is shameful. It is a betrayal not only of our constitutional responsibility as legislators, but of the very principles for which countless Liberians have fought and died. We have surrendered our oversight role. We have abdicated our mandate to ensure checks and balances. We have dangerously reduced the legislature to an auxiliary of the executive.
Of course, and
yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, Chief. I had the legislature answering to the executive part of the government, Joseph Baka and Jeremiah. Yes, soon as say this, yes, sir, because they have a regime speaker in the house.
Yes, sir.
Baka say, yeah, yes, sir. I mean, there is no check and balances, period.
And that's what Honorable Ability is asking for, and this is what he's saying. This is alarming. This is a clarion call to Liberians, and you can liberate yourself. You know, I'm not even talking. I talked to him. I read his letter, but I also talked to other representatives, and they are confirming this bill passed like speed. It was a lightning speed that it passed by. They didn't have a chance to debate it. They didn't have a chance to ask questions. They didn't have a chance to refine the law. So he is saying that this is not how democracy works.
Because they were answering yes, sir.
Yes.
They were answering yes, sir, to the president.
Yeah.
That's why this legislature is auxiliary to the executive.
Yes. So that answers the question. You know, for those of you who are jittery and agonizing, why would Ability be including the executive branch into this when it was the legislature that passed the law? That's why. You answer the question. Ability is telling us that this is not how lawmaking is supposed to work. You're supposed to debate. You're supposed to define. You're supposed to research. You're supposed to be given time. You're supposed to even speak to civil organization, like, you know, civil society. And
that passing secrecy, period.
Yes, and that is not how that's supposed to happen. Stuff like that happen in dictatorship or authoritarian governments.
So then he goes on to say that this is a perilous precedent. If we allow critical national decisions to be made in silence and secrecy without scrutiny or participation, then we are no longer a functioning democracy. We are a facade.
Facade, yes.
Facade. Yes. The Frenchman, the word is a French word.
Yes.
So the Englishman will pronounce it the first way I pronounce it.
Yes.
The Frenchman say it's a facade.
Yeah.
So he said, I call on my colleagues to reflect
as always.
Yeah. The 55th legislature will be remembered, and if we do not change course, history will judge us for not our guardians or for the people trust, but as its violators. Means that they are violating the laws and the constitution of the country.
Yeah.
Let us not continue down this path. Liberia deserves better. But you know, I responded. I responded to Honorable Ability, and I really like my response. So I'm going to read my response. Yes, I will read my response because I responded to him. I got up this morning feeling very on the left side, going through a lot of stuff in my mind, you know. And when I read it, one of the, I think, second thing I saw on Facebook, I said, oh no, I must respond. So I responded, I said, I must respectfully express my perspective. It is unfortunate, too late for the 55th legislature honor President Joseph Nima Bouaga to reclaim its authority as an independent body. It's unfortunate, but it's true. They cannot reclaim it. The truth is evident. When representatives allow a speaker who openly declared himself as a regime speaker to assume that position, it marked a pivotal moment in which the integrity of the legislature was compromised. When you decided to vote for that man after he said that, it was compromised. And thank God, Musa Hassan Bedete did not vote in that direction. In fact, he ran against that. That's the reason why he even ran in the first place, because he wanted them to have an alternative. But they still yet did not see that. Those elected to represent the voice of the people sat in chambers. The people voted for the people in the ring, and soon said what, stepping in poo water and everything. Those elected to represent the voice of the people sat in chambers and voted him in, showcasing a disheartening departure from their fundamental duties. From the fundamental duty of the House of Representatives. This movement symbolized not just a single instance of betrayal, but the legal insertion of compromise and failed legislature. Under this regime, we cannot expect meaningful change under the Joseph Bouaga government. We have witnessed pattern of behavior that suggests otherwise. It appears that many in leadership have prioritized personal enrichment over public service. They have not understood that the people voted them to serve and not to go there and be greedy hunters, often operating behind closed doors and passing laws without the scrutiny they deserve. Just how they went and just amended this law, in secret, nobody knows in the law, they just amended, yeah. The corrupt legislature and the member in the inside that did this. So I said, we as concerned Liberians are all too aware of these betrayals. We know it. And it deepens our disillusionment. The priorities of the current leadership seems increasingly detached from the needs and aspirations of the populace they were elected to serve. They are detached themselves away from the people they are elected to serve. We expect nothing from this government. We have seen it all already. Liberia will not gain anything significant under JMB and his administration. The majority of them are rogues. And I said that because it's true. So although Honorable Benedict is still calling them to recycle and come back and say, let's do the right thing, I, as a common Liberian citizen that don't have any position in the government, I say we have seen it all already. These people are not going to come back. They never came to serve the people. They came to serve themselves, Doc.
Yeah. Thank you for your response. And, Honorability has a little bit of faith, more faith than you, in the ability for the legislature to come back. He always said they need to sit, reflect, and reconnect. That's what in his last letter I think we read. It said, if I'm not mistaken, and you're saying we've seen it. They betrayed us. They lied to us. They're enriching themselves. We've seen it. I was so surprised. I was shocked. We had this guest on. I don't remember. I think his name. I'll have to pull his name up. He was on the show yesterday on another platform I was on, and this man took the entire time explaining why it's so important for us to have autonomous ports. Only today to find out that this man owned boats. He owned, that's why. I mean, it was just.
That's why he came to explain to the public. That's so he could sell himself because he has benefit in it. It's all about the benefits, sis. These people hear nothing about the Liberian people, or else you will see them doing what they're supposed to do. It doesn't take much to develop Liberia. It takes the heart of the leadership to do it. The people stealing millions of dollars. They're arresting people back and forth all over the place and suspending people because millions of dollars been missing in the Liberian cover. Most of the money they put it there in ways and means to take it for themselves. So only one group of people have the heart within the government to really do the work, and they are not in the majority, so it doesn't happen. Belete alone, his one cannot fight for the legislator. You have to have people on his side. Majority of the people are on the other side because it's all about greed for them and how they can enrich themselves to benefit their family, and that's all it's about. But then we have God somewhere that I don't care how much money you pack, you're not going to enjoy it because people are dying in JFK that needs to be revamped for the people to go there and get cured. And you take it away from them. And you think you're going to just enjoy that money? It's not going to happen.
And so I can't help but to ask this question. How does getting a new law help the existing problem that we have? Why don't we have effective and efficient oversight of the law? Because that's what happened. You got somebody who can tell us, say, oh, I was sent from Monrovia to run the port of Buchanan, and I made my own money. I made excess wild money, and nobody cared what I was doing here in Buchanan. So that suggests to me whoever was in charge in the committee to regulate the port, you dropped the ball. so because you dropped the ball, you fail your oversight responsibility, fiscal oversight. That's what Honorable Billy said. You fail that responsibility. So now you say, okay, let me fix it by passing. It's like putting Band-Aid, on a situation. Instead of fixing the situation, you just cover it up. And that's what that's what they're doing to me. With this poor situation, they're just covering it up. Yeah. Do your job. Call people in. Ask them, you're supposed to submit 40% to us. You did not submit the 40%. You submitted 12%. What happened to the rest of the money? Why are you submitting 40%? When tell them to come to the committees to present their budget and their financial standing, they don't do that. They don't never show up. They're always late. And I'm speaking this fact. They're always late. They don't ever show up. They have to drag their legs. They have to threaten them before they come. They're supposed to come, I think, every 3 months or so. They don't do that. So if you're in the legislature, you feel your oversight responsibility. You are feeling that. So that's what I wanted to add. So it's getting a new law. What does it mean? So you'll be effective now?
Amending the law to suit them, what does it mean? And you know what, Doc? I just thank God for a man like Musa Hassan Benete that is in our house to expose some of these things. Because we're going to sit here and don't know nothing.
Yeah.
These people go amend a law and pass it quick because there's something in it for them. This is not just random. Something's not right. Mm-hmm. So we thank God that he will be able to, he's there to expose these things, because most of the time, most of the representatives, they will just be quiet. I don't will have you can call about yelling one end for some 1 or 2 days with yell and scream, and then that would be over with. But we thank God that there he's writing at the same time Yaga is yelling. So I mean we got people who are exposing these things. What the Liberian people see now to do with this information come 2029? That's the question. What do they see now to do with this information? Because as we're moving forward, we know that these two parties that have ran Liberia for 20 plus years have done nothing but to steal from the country over and over again. They are millionaires. They got big buildings in other countries. Some of them own the biggest buildings in Liberia. They own all the properties. They are masquerading and passing around with very expensive cars. They change their cell phone every year, and they don't even work for that money and all those things. So we happy that, God sent him in our house to really tell us these things, because before he got there, most of these things were not heard. Let's just be fair. They weren't heard at all. No. And you it's so sad to see that the other people, they sit there and just they don't care, except for the rule of law caucus. 1 or 2 of them will be speaking. They're still fighting and speaking and things like that. But Librarians, I mean, you got it wrong when you voted most of the people in the House of Representatives as legislatures. In the House of Representatives, you voted those legislators in as representative and as senators, because most of them went there for themselves. And some of them came here from the states. I mean, we trusted them. The people trusted them. I just never trusted none of them. The people trusted them, and they're just there, and they are backing these things. They find excuses. They find excuses now because they're there. But when they were not there, every other thing was wrong with it. Now they sit down in the position and doing the same old thing even worse than what the last government did. And that's the reason why there's two parties that bring people need to kick them out the window.
Yes.
And start looking at CMC.
Yes.
Well,
I agree. Definitely. And this is why you and I are here. You know, we present a different option, another option to the Liberian people, an option where we want good governance. Okay. And you can see it in a way that Honorable Billy is exposing what he sees. You know, something Grace was talking about, I would just share earlier today, and I will share that with our audience, is like, you know, they can pass this bill at the port with lightning speed, but we got the immigration bill that was proffered by Honorable Billy that will help diasporan Liberians as well as Liberians in terms of merging a partnership, okay, with us. Just sitting down there, we don't know when that bill will come to the floor. They passed it's already passed in the representative Senate to the Senate. It's just sitting on it. Nothing has been done with that bill. You mute it.
The bills then that will really help the Liberian people and that will change things in the country for the lives of the Liberian people, they don't focus on the bills.
No.
The one that will benefit them, that's the bill they're focusing on.
Exactly. So yeah. So yeah, very sad. But we'll keep talking. This is why we're here. You know, don't lose hope. Look at the third lane option. Look at CMC. Let CMC be your other option. Because as Grace said, these two political parties, they don't look like and they're not working in the best interest of our people. I want you to see you had 12 years of Unity Party, okay? We can give them some slack a little bit and say, okay, it was just after the war. But after the war, okay, how did you develop the country? What did you do? We still have people traumatized in the country. What rehabilitation plan did you have for the country? How is our country rebuilt? What structure? There was something when I studied politics, by the way, for Mr. Thank God for Life. I do have a master's degree in political science. So for many of you who question about, my interest in politics, that's where it comes from. And there's something called the Monroe Doctrine that the Americans did to rebuild Japan after the World War II. And we never had that. They had a plan, a vision. This is our country. Our country has been destroyed by war or by the lack of inclusiveness or whatever it was, how maybe our history or whatever it was. But now, what plan do we have to develop the country? Let's look at our education sector. Let's look at our healthcare sector. Let's look at our tourism sector. What plan do we have? And I keep on asking for this. And who is speaking up of the plans to the Liberian people? Just tell me, so I got it. I got a rescue agenda. I got roads. I got education. I got sanitary. I got agriculture and all of that. Just tell me that it's not enough. I want to know within your short-term plan for a year and your long-term plan for 5 years. What is it? What do you have in those areas that we mentioned? And I think it would help if you had something to follow as opposed to just coming in and giving us flowery speeches or passing flowery bills that will enrich yourself, really. So yes, that's what I thought about that.
Yeah, and so I think you should try to open the phone line so we can get some people calling in with their input. Our people, we have to engage them, how they feel about everything that's going on. This bill that being amended, twinkle of an eye, and then the people that were arrested for misappropriation of rights that was supposed to benefit the Liberian people. Also, with all the Joseph Boakai appointments, making the widow of Prince Johnson, putting her on the board after 18 years. Her husband, I don't know how long they were married for, but he was senator for 18 years. And I never heard that she held any professional position before. So I don't know what is going on, for her to be a board member of the Port Authority. That's concerning. what is her experience or job, what her credential holds, what she holds. So we want to know. So then let Liberian people speak on this because they got qualified people in Liberia that are working up and down that can't find a job that could be on that board and they got the credible credentials and experience to do that work. How they are not placed in those positions that who know you're doing it? You know, you're taken away from the country, you do that. So I want to, that's some of the things I want them to call in and say. And let's see, I don't know where Ansu going, but Henry, because he got us on, he closed the screen there. So I don't know that I am this country. I don't want to be discouraged about this country, and I refuse to be discouraged. But I'm also very concerned about everything that's going on with the way the people are carrying things out with our people. And I mean, you see people still dying on the streets from starvation. You know, people dying in hospital because of lack of care and medication and, you know, proper attention. And these are the things that we want, you know, the government to focus on. But now the whole country is in turmoil and drama because the main focus is arresting people who have done corruption. But yet, we have not seen any end result of people going to prison for a good while and staying there because of corruption. So we are just in a rock and hard place that we just can't. It's like you safety in the thing, you know, you put it into the safety, everything you're going through the safety.
Exactly.
You know,
that's why we have hope. This is what, because we know that the third lane CMC exists. CMC will do things differently. We're going to ask questions. We're going to hold people accountable. We're not going to put our leader on a pedestal as if he can't make any mistakes. We're going to ask him questions, and we're going to make sure that, you know, if you're a judge and you have to make, like today, I asked, you know, how was the decision made to release the people who went to jail or to send the people who went to jail? They say it was the judge's discretion. What informed the judge's discretion? You know, the judges is a man like you and I. So maybe he can tell us how did he arrive at using his own discretion?
Because there has to be law that helps him to arrive to that. He can't just arrive to that. Today he just feel like he say, you know what? And so he's going to jail today. We gotta he kid out when he going. No, you do that. You have to have laws in the book that help you to arrive to your discretion for you to even want to do that. You're not a king here. You're not even the queen in London. She ain't got that kind of power like that. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Especially when we're in a country that is known for the law not working across the board for everybody, and that law is not just. It doesn't work for all people. You as a judge, you gotta be very careful. Make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed and you are speaking. You can't just say, we no longer want to rely on just discretion. Yes, maybe you have certain power, but we don't want to rely on that. You should not say that. So that is something that I'm interested in. When we do that, then it's almost like we are continuing our process of selective justice. We know in the past that Wakai, Ma Masa, Ma Benu, if something happened to them, they will face the weight of the law versus somebody who had a different last name, or more profound or well-known last name. We know that. So that's why it's important in our country that we go by the books these days. We cannot practice selective justice. We cannot practice it is the discretion of the judge, okay? Because people are very partisan, loyal to friends, family, political parties, whatever in our country. So Ansu and Henry, let's just go to the phone lines, give our people the opportunity to call in and express their views.
Folks, you can have your say on the program here tonight. You're on the political launch here on Truth FM 96.1. Call me on +231 776 927472. That is a 0776 927472 9274 7472. The numbers for you to call on tonight and participate right here. Truth FM for those of you on Facebook and following us from the diaspora. You can call me on the +231 776 927472 or 0776 927472. So call and have us say tonight on the political launch here on Truth FM 96.1. What's on your mind? You want to share with us on the platform here? You listen to us, you listen to the conversation, the discussion indeed. Do you want to have your say on the program? Do you want to make a contribution? You can call me on 0776 927472. That is a 0776 927472.
You can also share your number on WhatsApp and call you
that's
from America.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Papa Johnson calling from Tony.
From where?
From Tony.
You said, well, what's the name again?
Comfort Johnson.
Oh, Comfort. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really want to be part of CNC. So I want to be member. I've been trying to push through, but the line can be busy.
Okay, Comfort. First, okay.
Please take her name down, her number, please.
Okay, Comfort. All right. Yeah. So the first caller is a
female.
female.
Like you're to get to you, Comfort.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for calling.
And she want to get.
Yeah. Take her name down, please, and make sure you forward it to Mr. Bangura or Mr. Yogi, one of them.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said I want to know the procedure to be member.
Okay.
Membership.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So what will happen? Tell her say she can either go to Sophie, right around the COVID, the old COVID center. The party there, she can't go there. We'll also send her name, and then the Secretary General will call her.
Okay. So what you have to do? Just stop to the old Sophie. That's a Sophie, the old the COVID center. You know Sophie, right?
No.
You don't know Sophie Johnson?
Okay, then tell her somebody will call her number then.
Okay, then we'll get your name. We'll have your full names and your number too, and we'll definitely send it to the SG.
Yeah, my phone is Comfort Johnson.
Okay.
Also, please give me the time. I want to talk to Dr. Regency because to get them on phone, it can be very hard. Dr. Regency, I think they say to me, in 20 years, we have a company here. My sister have accident with that company and then for him cut off in November last year, early November. So the company refusing to do something for my sister because they see my family and then they're taking the advantage. The only thing they're doing, every month they pay her. They promised her that if after her treatment, they were going to come and sit with her to discuss her benefit, what they will do for her. But they refused it because we for poor background. We can't fight them, we can't do anything. And my sister had children that in school, some of them are not in school, 3 boys. They took the owner's sons and they put him in a company which did not benefit anything.
What's the name of the company?
They call the company AAG.
AAG.
Yeah.
And what exactly do at that company?
They doing business. They export plane.
Plane? You talking about plane? Are you talking about plane?
Yeah.
Logging?
What is the name of the company again?
AAG.
AAG is a company name.
What does AAG stand for?
Arrows Alliance.
Arrow Alliance, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's the Arrow Alliance.
Thank,
It's the
thank
name
you
of the
for
company.
bringing this to our attention. We'll follow up, do some research, and then get back to you, okay?
I'm very willing to talk to.
Wow, she's off. Comfort will get
I think
your
she wants to go on spoon to explain her story. That's why she.
yeah. Caller, are you there? Good morning, caller. Yes, sir. You have to be audible, please.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Wilfred Chiu, and I'm from my Chiu Factory resident.
Okay.
So, there are two things I want to discuss. The first thing is I listened to Dr. Richardson the other night and his sister there discussing the CMC. So I took interest in the first place. I want to be a member and not just a member, but a full and an active member in the CMC. So I'm a visually impaired person, and I will be interested in also establishing a disabled desk that will accommodate all persons with disabilities in the party that will have disability having a full decision making to take us to 2029. So when she was on Spoon Talk the other night, they were discussing the issue of the protest that happened on the Japan freeway. And I was trying to call in, but I couldn't get through. But that protest was being misconstrued on Spoon. And I wanted to make that clarity.
So what's the clarity? What exactly? Do you want to take 1 minute? Just 1 minute. That's all. Just be very brief.
Yes. Okay. So I'm the president of the United Blind Association of Liberia. So in the first place, Spoon said it was the Group of 77. Group of 77 is a group of government that is run directly by the vice president's wife, and only shoulder responsibility to Group of 77 and left every other disabled institution dormant or forgotten about. So the United Blind was not demonstrating because of the government, even though we know that the government is playing deaf ear to the plight of persons with disability. But the main issue is there's a company called the Abijali Group of Company that took this old Chikizo factory fence.
Okay.
And building is situated right by the fence.
Okay.
So when they started their construction, they did not do assessment in the community to find out as to what will affect the community upon carrying out their project. They just started their project right away.
Okay.
So while going through their project, they block all the drainages, all the waterways, even damage the road that even lead to the Chikizo Factory road that even pass right in front of the blind school. So it caused water to enter our building. And we've been here for 1998. That was the first of its kind for water to enter our building. And things got damaged. So that protest was to draw the government attention, to draw the police attention, so that a company can come in to open the waterway and to restitute some of these items that were being damaged.
Okay.
And that will be handled by the commission of the Kanabé Township.
Wonderful.
Please tell him to give you his name and his phone number.
I really love the CMC from the description I got from Dr. Regis.
Okay, so good. Is what's her name again? What's her name?
I'm Wilfred Chiu.
And you say call from where?
Your phone number. What's his phone number?
District
12. Okay. I have your number already, Wilfred.
Her,
so
her name is Wilfred what?
Wilfred James.
G1.
G1.
W
G1.
Yeah, G1.
Okay.
G1 and then he in district what?
12.
Is that district 12? Yeah, 12. District 12.
I think that's what I heard.
District 12 in where area now? Where is it?
That's at the Balanceville area. Battery factory.
Balanceville, okay.
Yeah, Balanceville. So let's talk to the caller right here. Caller, are you there?
Yeah. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Bill Johnson, and I live on the Dupuru,
Okay, Bill.
around the mental home. Yeah, I've been monitoring this show, trying to get through, but it's been very difficult for me. Yeah, I have been following the platform, and I really want to compile the CNC just because of the thought of movability. I'm really interested in the party.
Okay, my brother. All right. So you said Bill for Duplo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Bill.
You
So
might
for you,
give it a
yeah,
number.
Bill, say you have by us here. But Truth FM, we have a listing of some of the guys that stopped to us at the compound. So you can just do that the weekend, Friday, Saturday. We are always here. We're definitely going to get your name, also your contact to, and forward to the SG.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks for calling, Bill. We have the number, everything, 0776 9274 782 plus 231 776 9274 72. Good morning.
Morning, how you doing?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Manuel G. I'm calling from Poro Belt.
Tomorrow, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say we commend the president, but you know, my parents in Liberia, actually, anything, nothing can come. Like the first diamond, the 10,000 people, all the other people are president to the one that nothing will come from all of it. But we actually, for me, I pray that, I don't know, I really pray that this one that something should come out because Liberia is everybody's business.
Yes.
For this nation like that, which is there, other people that were saying, the country is a very old country. Why can we prove nothing? Education sector mess. I bet you we cannot pull for any other thing in the country. So every time you see the other people down got to go free. The entire people like certain say blah. So I don't really know they just like a phone now. So we are really looking for somebody that will come and take the pool, take the cow by the pool. That after that will do not just Sunday but month. But they'll do a tangible thing that will see that somebody will go in jail, that they will be paid for that. If any investment that whatever they cost, any increase, whatever that they will be able to that will pay the price. But we don't just want something that is a political stand. They say, oh, let you just say after that we are done something or whatever. We don't want that want somebody to change the country. And the second way is that people are saying like the unity party or TNC unity party no. If people want to change the country, that want every party, somebody to come or somebody to wrestle. They say like today I will take the vote. Look at Ghana. Look at South Africa, look at other country. They got all the great leaders that came out that people never said that they change the country today.
Mhm.
So who can we see to change the country? That's the problem.
I don't know. I don't know who can we see to change this country. You
So
said what?
you need to join our link first, then you will find out.
Yeah. Well, you have another option, and it's the third link called CMC.
Yeah.
Looking for somebody to actually do.
No, but my man, you already said the thing. You said UP the sitting the thing you put down CDC disappointed people. So just forget about the two of them now. Yeah, we're moving ahead now. You already have the CMC right in front of you.
I said the CDC and what the Unity Party government for 2 years, and now everybody the Unity Party are come back. Now they are doing what other people that is a selective thing that they are doing. And that people, if you look at other people that do that, they are corrupt. But why have you just in suspension? Why is it that you do suspension?
Okay, can I explain to why you doing suspension?
That's a very good question.
I'm saying that if you suspend somebody that for investment, don't just explain why other people that you are saying that they don't want investment, you can't you kept in that thing, you can't know. Why can you not get you the code also? You just only come for suspension. Why is it that you say that they did something? Why they did that you cannot get the code also?
Okay, I have your number. Thanks for calling. I get your
questions.
number. Yeah, thanks so much. You made some good points though. 0776
Our people are hearing us. I mean, they are hearing
Yeah.
us. Now, so
hello,
just focus.
Hello. 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 Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You on the WhatsApp line. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're speaking with
Okay, from Dubai. Let's say AB, you're live.
Okay, thank you. Greeting to our great ladies in the studio there, Madam Grace and Dr. Francis Richardson. How are you guys? How are you doing well?
Hi, Ibrahim.
Okay. When it comes to Liberia issue, Liberia need a new brain. Liberia need a new brain. Cannot keep doing the same at the same time. They will need different results. Hello, am I there?
You are live. Perfect.
Hello.
You are live. Go ahead, AB. You are live.
Thank you. We cannot keep doing the same thing. They will need different results. No. Liberia need a new brain. That is the reason I thought it was to join the CMC. I know CMC now, if CMC is the new brain now, I think can be a better party for Liberia now. That will make Liberia to be where we Liberia we expect it to be.
Okay.
If you look at Honorable Musa, when you look at Honorable Musa Hassan Belete, if you look at let me tell you something, right? Honorable Musa Hassan Belete have a very great vision for Liberia. They gave a parable, they said that if a child will benefit you, you will know from the beginning stage of that child. But if the child will not benefit you, you will know, you can see the behavior of the child, you will know that child will benefit you or not. The few times that I get to know Honorable Musa Hassan Belete, the level of that I saw him doing, especially in the house, he stood against everything that is wrong. He never go against the right. He always stood against everything that is wrong. That's the type of person that we need right now in Liberia. We don't need someone that will put their interest first above country interest. We need someone that will stand in front to make Liberia go to where we expect it to be. We know he will not like to say we'll not expect 100% for him, but we know he will make him a president. Musa Hassan Belete can give us 85 or 90% of what we
Okay, AB. So before you wrap, yeah.
think Liberia will go.
AB, before you wrap out, you're all there in the UAE. You're there in Dubai. What exactly are you doing? It tends for mobilizing to have this thing done, to make this thing come to reality 2029. What exactly are you doing home, back home in Liberia, how in the UAE there in Dubai? I don't know what exactly are you working on to have this thing done to make this thing happen.
First of all, let me tell you something. This coming Sunday will be conducting our first CMC meeting.
Excellent.
Which I am the head. I'm controlling. I get more than 100 people on board now in UAE. Okay. When it comes to Liberia, we got our base. Let me tell you, before CC can get in power, we buy our own gas, we put it in back. We buy gas for people, we spend our own money, our own resources to make George Weah president. But at the end of the day, they take our back on us. We that suffer, we went in the rain, the sun stood in dirty water. But at the end of the day, they forgot us. For me, I will never think about my own interest, but our country, what it did for the country, what it did for we the youth, to make us to be empowered to today. Nothing. We just waste our time behind them. So now we decide to change the limits.
Okay.
Okay, when it comes to Liberia, right? I don't want to lie to you. For the single bill, the whole single bill, through my power, CNC will conquer the whole single bill, from single to Uru, from First Street to Uru. I'm telling you, through my power, I know what I can do. CMC will conquer the whole single bill. I gave it to them. I'm telling you, I don't ask anybody, nobody can take away single bill all of CMC as I speak to you.
Wonderful.
Okay, my brother.
New Jersey, Bamansville, I can give to them. I can tell them that they will win those places because we'll campaign. I'm not standing behind. I will be at the front and we'll campaign for CDC and make sure Honorable Musa Hassan Ability elected this coming 2029. As I speak to you, we are working.
Okay, AB.
You will see. Yes.
Okay. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you, Abby.
Let me wrap up, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to tell Madam Grace and Dr. Francis Richardson, please lay your heart down. Musa Hassan Ability will be elected coming 2029. Believe this word today, I'm telling you. Musa Hassan elected 2029, and nobody can stand in front of it. As I speak to you, no one can come to stop this.
Lay your heart
Musa
down.
Hassan Ability is the next president of Liberia 2029.
Amen. We trust you, Abraham.
AB,
Yeah.
all over there from the UAE, Dubai, making contribution.
A very sentimental and energetic CNC Mer. That's what we want. The faith, the action. He has it all. And he's not lying, to tell you the truth. This boy had gathered almost 100 people in the Dubai chat room in less than 4 days. Yes, CMC Dubai chat room is choked. Abraham has gathered all his people together. They're about to have a meeting on Sunday, and we can't wait to see. Doug, you can't hear you.
I was gonna say, and he's very active too. Those are the kind of people that would like to see somebody who's willing to contribute, bring your own ideas to CMC. We'd like to see you working. We don't want you to earn your position or your place in life. Step up to the plate, okay? And that's the type of person that Abraham struck me to be.
Very hardworking young man, and we're working along with him because he fired up and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes, he fired up because he wants Liberia to be a better place.
Yes.
That's what he wants, and his people are behind him. You know, they got some people who just know how to mobilize. Abraham is one of them.
Yeah, that's what he presents himself as. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Me too. As soon as he get his chapter together, we're going to Dubai.
Yes.
They're live.
What a trip.
Engage the people. We can't wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So many things.
So you got any other person in line? Because we're about to close. We have 2 minutes, 3 minutes more to leave here. Tomorrow is our famous Friday.
Yes. That's Payback Friday. Payback.
Payback Friday. All the women are called on tomorrow. They all get to win something. And then the men who choose the right numbers, they get to win something for the weekend. Let's see what happens.
So so for my end, we close the line already. We shut down already for my end. The telephone line.
Okay.
As I said, we have 2 minutes ago, so we have to wrap up.
Yes, yes. You know, I've been reflecting on a lot of things today. You know, I had an opportunity to speak to, you know, Honorable Ability and also some other lawmakers. And a lot of people might question, what does it take to be a leader? It takes someone who's humble, which is what I like about Honorable Musa Ability, and this is what makes the party different. If you look at the history of people that have been leaders in our country, a lot of them, sometimes they come with having the silver spoon in their mouths, or sometimes they come into power and forget from whence they come. I can tell you, for number one, you know, how disappointed I was in the CDC government, because, you know, they came in and they told us that they were going to be for the downtrodden. They were going to work for people who are in Rock of Gibraltar, Nuku Town, those places. And I was so disappointed that those places continue to look like it did 6 years later. Okay. How many of those children can speak about what kind of scholarship they got, what kind of school besides the Wyatt, you know, scholarship they received, that can be here to tell us, oh, you know, I benefited this way? Just random, you know, random children. I'm talking about children that are connected to the powers to be. Okay. So when I look at Honorable Ability's life, he talks about how he's motivated by watching his parents, okay, and them taking responsibility for so many in their home, And at the end of the day, they didn't even feel like they were poor because they had so much love, I would like to say, around them. And that's what I think he brings to the table. One of the things he brings to the table is that humbleness, the ability to want to connect to the people, to want to be a part of the people. He sees their suffering, he sees their sorrow, he sees their pain. And that's the state of Liberia. You know, anytime you tell the people in Liberia, how? Liberia, how? And I got friends, I got family members, I got relatives in Liberia. That's what they tell me all the time. I can see it. On a given day, we're doing Zoom calls, we're doing WhatsApp and stuff like that. And that's what I see. And this is the change that um, Honorable Billy brings. He wants to get all the ideas. He sits, many down, many days, and just want to talk about how can we transform our country. What do we need? Okay, how can we make Liberia a better place? Why is it that our country, amongst country in West Africa, continue to be falling behind? And that's the kind of leader that you want to be. It's not a leader for just one group of people, okay? A leader that will be selective in the judgment or in the justice system. No, he wants to be a leader for all Liberians. So on that note, I like to close. If you're looking, I like to close like when I'm in church. But so if you're looking for a political party, if you know within yourself, check within yourself about the two political parties that the CDC and the United Party, they've been around, one or the other. Okay, ask yourself, what have you done for me lately? How have you benefited from these two parties collectively? I'm not just talking about your own benefits. And then check the third lane, which is the CMC. That's what I have to add. Thank you, Grace. I'm sorry I came late, everybody. I'll make sure I'm on time tomorrow. Go ahead, Madam Grace.
Yeah, I would like to close by um, remembering my dear brother, Benjamin Yima Snatter. He passed away on October 8th of last year.
Yeah.
He was very dear to my heart. And I remember him today. He turned 76. If he was alive, he'd be 76 today. I miss him so much. And I know that he is really wanting me to do this. That's why, with all me being a politician, the love that we have for country, he always wanted to come home to Liberia. It was one of his hope. And he was just about to mount up the courage to relocate back home. And then he lost his life, before that could happen. And he's one of the people that, when we think about, we first so hard because I think that if he had made it to Liberia, I think he was going to live a little bit more in his life because he really wanted to go back to Cape Ramos in Rocktown, there where he grew up. He always talked about that. And he just wanted to go back and sit under the tree and drink some coconut water and live the rest of his life. And then, in his old age, he never had the chance to do that.
Okay, Grace. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Everyone, we just want to tell you guys thank you for joining us. Henry Ansu, thank you for joining us. Today has been a very tough day, emotional day, but yet and stay love our country. Madam Grace was able, even when I wasn't here, was able to carry the show. So today has been a very hard day for her regarding the loss of her brother. So please join me in keeping her in your thoughts and prayers as we close the show. So thank you so much. Sorry, Gracie.
Thank you so much, Doc. It is something very, very high, when it comes to this. But we like to say our thoughts and prayer with you, Madam Grace Goa. I will know why it takes, but someone is, to your heart, at the end. But please be strong. We hope and pray that Lord counsel in your tough times. Yeah, but take heart.
Yeah. And that's the reason we first so hard for Liberia, because we have to leave it, we have to let the legacy of our loved ones who have hope to go back home and live, that they had a chance to do that. And we pray for we to have the chance to do that, and for Liberia to be a better place, and for the nation to be led by people who actually truly love this nation. Our people, that we can rejoice in Liberia once more and say, you know what, although we are our country is not, where it's supposed to be, but at least we have leaders that are taking us there. So with that said, I would like to encourage the Liberian people, don't give up. Change is coming. Change is coming. Come and join us, because we can deliver Liberia with that change. Our political leader has shown you already that he can do this, because he has done so much work in Liberia as a regular citizen, as the representative of the House, and as the leader of CMC. He is still doing more work. We are coming into a project, and we're going to help to change Liberia for the betterment of the country. When I heard my sister say that her sister was hurt and nothing came out in this country, we get hurt in America, we get millions of dollars. Liberians got rich just for getting her on the job. They were awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars because of what happened to them on job, and some of them did not even have to lose their hand or their foot. So we want those things for Liberians to be able to benefit to when they get caught up in such a thing. And it takes a powerful leadership to be able to bring that to the country. So think about that. Come and join CMC. God bless you.
Amen.
CMC for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens movement for change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up, Liberia. CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. CMC, CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity. CMC core values. CMC Global. It is a new day for Liberia. It is a new day for the people. Let's all together. Let's all together. It's a unity. Raise up your hands. CMC. The land of liberty, the line of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, yes, for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, yes, 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 the time has come.